Greetings, greetings, dear friends. Welcome to our circle. Welcome to our new creative lab. This time, it's an unusual new venture for us. It's, we love experiments, but this is experiment of a different kind. Experiment where we together will go on a journey, seeking to connect with mysteries and life behind those mysteries. We call them ancient mysteries, but according to Daniela, they're alive. They're not that ancient. They are modern mysteries. And so today we come to celebrate light and birthday of goddess Hathor. Daniela will tell us about that a lot today. So I welcome Daniela Nesterovich, who will take us on the journey starting from Brussels.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you for all your light that you bring to our circle.
Thank you, Alexander. Such a beautiful introduction. Welcome, everyone. If you don't mind, if you feel like that, don't hesitate to show your beautiful face so that we get sense of each other, if you feel like that. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Daisha, sorry. Eleanor, hello. And I see other names, and Annette and Tamara, Darcy and Bernard, Barclay, Christine, lots of people. Thank you so very much for coming and being with us today. And so before we begin, I'll just have one disclaimer to make. Two, actually. One is that I'm not a scholar. This is not a presentation about the information, Egyptologist information. I'm with this presentation, with this workshop, I'm trying to transmit my experience mostly. Of course, there are stories that I gathered here and there, but as I said, I'm not a scholar. And another thing is that I'm guessing that you know what it means. My Chiron is in my third house. That is to say, it's somewhat of adventure to be presenting like this. So sometimes bear with me. Sometimes I might lose my my calm. That being said, a couple of words about Egyptian calendar, which interestingly enough was solar, so that measures 365 days a year. There were 12 months with 30 days each, or 3 decanates, 3 weeks counting in each month. So 1 week counted 10 days. And then the remaining 5 days of the year, they call them the days outside of the time. There is a story that says that Ra, the solar god Ra, didn't want any more children. He was tired with all the god and goddesses that were around him. And so he said to the goddess Nut, the sky, that as long as there is time, she's not permitted to give birth anymore. But she was pregnant. And so she asked God Thoth to help her. And so he devised a game and proposed to the moon to play the game with him. And each time he would win 1 day. And of course, as Thoth was very, very good at his own game, well, he won 5 days from the moon. And so 5 new gods and goddesses were born. And these are the ones that we know the most, actually: Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, Set, and the Chorus the Elder, as they call them. And that being said, the ancient Egyptians divided their year in 3 seasons: inundation, sowing, and harvest. And the year would begin on the 19th of July, and the moment of helical rising of the Sirius, of the sun Sirius. So after 70 days, he would disappear, the star would disappear during 70 days and reappear on the horizon in Egypt on the 19th of July, which marked then the, the first day of the year. Sirius was extremely important for Egyptians, not only because of its connection to the year seasons and inundation of the Nile, the river Nile, but they were also saying that while the sun was nourishing their physical bodies, Sirius, the power behind sun, was nourishing their spiritual bodies. And actually, star Sirius was regarded as a stellar manifestation of the goddess Isis. But that's a story for another time. So many were celebrations during and throughout the year, of course. And the aim of this workshop is to make us imaginatively, subjectively participate in some of them. And today we will be celebrating the birthday of the goddess Hathor. The calendar actually says her birthday was celebrating on 17 September, but the records also say that this celebration would go on for a month. So I think we are still in the good period for the celebration. And so before we talk about Hathor, I will just walk you for a couple of minutes through her temple as it is today. So these are the pillars at the entrance of the temple, and we see her large head here. It's her face is gone, unfortunately. This is a detail from one of the walls in the temple, and the colors are really like that even now. Not everywhere in the temple, but it's amazingly the colors survived thousands of years. This is also a scene in one of the chambers of her temple. This is about resurrecting Osiris. This is the famous Dandara zodiac that you saw also in the beginning, that was on the ceiling of one of the chambers. And today is I think in Louvre, I'm not sure, but it doesn't stand like this anymore in the temple itself. This is in the temple still. You see the colors are vibrant and telling stories. This is an image from a crypt. One needs to go into underground to see these images, and they're a miracle on their own. Another scene, also from the ceiling. Oh, I'm sorry, for some reason. Oh, voila. And now this is a little movie, 1 minute or so, that I filmed and edited, hoping to transmit a little bit the beauty.
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा श्रीवक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा श्रीवक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव.
So it will walk through the temple. And so, who is Goddess Hathor? Her name is composed of two words, Hath and Hor. Hath would mean a house, a home, and Hor would mean sky or even air. So does it mean that her home is sky or she's the home to the sky? Who knows? It's interesting to note that she is associated with the sign of the bull or Taurus, even in the Dendera zodiac, and yet her birthday was celebrated in September. And curiously, it appears, for example, that Virgin Mary, whose day is celebrated in September, for her, the month of May was considered sacred, as well as for other mothers of special children, let's call them like that, the teachers of humanity. But most of all, Goddess Hathor is a nourisher. Her milk is coming from the stars and provides nourishment for the elevation of consciousness. That's her. And as the second name I was telling you, the Hor part is also the base of the name of Horus, which could also possibly mean that she was his home, the home of Horus. And she had a very special relationship with Horus. She helped Isis bring him up when he came into being. And then later on, she became his lover and partner. And trying to wrap my head around this, I dove a little bit deeper into the story and discovered that there are actually 7 Hathors. And I'm guessing that each one of them would manifest at different points of the story and the relationship with Horus. And indeed, Hathor is all about relationship. Her teaching is about relationship with our own bodies, including our etheric bodies, our Ka, as Egyptian called it. It's about relationship with ourselves and the others. It's about relationship with our work or service. And it's also about relationship to the 4 elements. And her teaching includes the fact that the elements are sentient beings and that we could have a conscious relationship with each 4 of them. For Hathor, everything is personal. Her teaching is saying that false detachment is illusory. The so-called ordinary life is one's mirror. So there is nothing impersonal in that, right? And speaking about mirrors, this is one of her symbols or objects used in worshipping Hathor is something called Hathor's mirror. On the right side, there is something called sistrum. It's a musical instrument. And which is one of her symbols, and the third symbol, and the most present one, is celebration. She's the one who would say, celebrate everything until further notice, you just celebrate. And so our workshop will continue with a practice of visualization, which I call safe journeying. And before we go on, are there any questions or anything that you would want to share? Okay. Seems that we are good.
I wanted to share something that I've already discussed with Daniela before the beginning of the lab today, is that that little reading that I did about the goddess Hathor, it reminded me the way how in India and multiple traditions in India, cow considered to be a sacred animal and considered to be a mother. And so we know that both religions of ancient Egypt and ancient India, they related to even more ancient traditions of Atlantean times. So it seems like there's definite parallel between that cult of the cow, the mother in India, and the cult of Hathor.
Definitely. Yes, it's and when you go there to her temple, and I hope we will, through our visualizations, we will contact this energy that you mentioned, Alexander. Plus, I would say it's interesting to note that, well, the new group of world servers are a bull or a cow in feminine. So so somewhere we must be all related to this potent symbol and archetype, actually. Okay, if you feel ready, there are no more questions. Let's start our journey. So I'll invite you to, well, close your physical eyes, open the internal ones, and take a couple of deep breaths in your inner belly and also into the upper part of your lungs, which allows us to exchange the air and energies completely. And then allow your breathing to go back to its natural rhythm. And without changing it or controlling it anymore, follow the air that comes into your body and out. And then let us pay our attention to the eternal spark that lives in the holy of our holies, in the center of our centers, in our hearts, in the heart of our hearts. This eternal spark that is a part of the great flame of universe, of everything that exists. And the awareness of that colors the radiance of this spark with pure joy, which radiates from our centers outside. And by its passage, turns everything that we are into a smile, You can imagine your cells smiling, your emotions, your thoughts, everything is smiling. And to nourish even more this beautiful vibration, we'll connect our hearts with the heart of the earth and the heart of the galaxy at the same time. We project rays of light from our hearts upwards and downwards. And at one point, lower one, our consciousnesses are embraced, welcomed by the beautiful heart of our beautiful planet. And it seemed to tell us there is nothing to do, nothing to become. You are loved exactly as you are. And on the other end, we find ourselves completely free. There is no push, there is no pull. We can move in any direction we want, and yet we feel supported. This being that we call space also welcomes us with unconditional love. And then let's breathe into our hearts and bring back our consciousness and observe the encounter of these beautiful energies in our centers. Let's witness their love for each other, their marriage, their co-creation of who we are. Making the brilliance of our hearts even stronger, even more light and joyful. And so we are standing in the large stone gate that leads into the outer courtyard of the temple. It is night, a couple of hours before dawn. Early birds are signaling their presence. Light breeze is bringing the aroma of lush vegetation. As you slowly advance on the stone paths towards the temple, you begin to see that the surroundings are set up for the upcoming festival. Stands with food, behind which fire pits are already burning, others with colorful fabrics, and still others with alabaster jars of all shapes and sizes. You also sense movement of people preparing, but most of them are seated on the ground and are softly and in unison chanting the morning prayer to the goddess. As you slowly walk among them, on your right, you perceive contours of a smaller chapel, from which sounds of soft and joyous laughter is accompanying the prayer. It is the birth chamber, which is being prepared by the priestesses. Girdles of flowers are hanging from the walls. Soft carpets and cushions are being laid on the ground, getting ready for any fortunate woman who would give birth today, at this very auspicious moment when Goddess Hathor will show herself. You continue, you walk towards the temple, taking in this atmosphere of serene and joyful expectation. As you approach the first pylons that mark the entrance into the temple, you pause, allowing yourself a moment of recollection. The beautiful temple you're about to enter is inhabited by the goddess of love, and it is made sacred by innumerable prayers and rituals throughout thousands of years. Remembering the spark in your heart, you enter, softly and attentively stepping into the great hall. There is a special glow to everything that surrounds you. Bright colors of the images on the walls seem to radiate the luminosity of their own. The sound of the prayer is stronger here, and as you advance, you get glimpses of the activities happening in the side chambers. Sacred perfumes, oils are being prepared. Musical instruments are being placed. Flowers are being arranged. As you approach the central part of the temple, you see in front of you a queue of people being formed. Priests, priestesses, apprentices are hurriedly taking their place in this row that is slowly advancing towards the Holy of Holies. The last person in the line turns towards you and smilingly gestures you to join in. As you do, other people place themselves behind you, and you all gradually and rhythmically step forward, step by step. As you get nearer and nearer to the entrance of the Holy of Holies, you realize that the great priestess is handing something to each person. After which the queue turns to the right and disappears into what seems to be an entrance into a tunnel. Voicing something very softly, she places into the hands of the approaching person either a cup of water, a candle, a flower, or a feather. What she will place into your hands does not depend on your placement in the line, but instead follows priestess's intuitive understanding of what your place in the ceremony is. When she places the object into your hands, take a moment to connect with the element it represents. Thank the priestess and continue to follow the path just behind the person in front of you. They turn and pass through the door, and as you follow, you find yourself mounting a narrow and winding staircase. Every 10 steps or so, the corridor turns, preventing you from seeing where it ends. The way is softly illumined by those carrying candles And as you mount, you take in the atmosphere of growing expectancy. The sacred chanting is accompanied by occasional soft chuckle. People's eyes are aglow with joy. The perfume of freshly cut flowers is mixing with incense, and your pace serenely settles with the rhythm of the procession. Eventually, you step through a door leading onto the roof of the temple. And you continue to follow the line of people who are now circling the vast space. The edges of the roof are occupied by 12 chambers, and their closed doors show images of different deities. Take note of anything that calls to your attention as you continue to walk past the structures. The person in front of you stops, turns around to face you, invite you to step on the stairs, more stairs, that lead to a somewhat higher part of the roof. From there, you see that the edges of the roof are now completely encircled by people, and that you are a part of a smaller group that is now mounting yet another stairway leading to the highest part of the temple, high above the ground. As you step upon it, you find yourself in an atmosphere of joyous yet silent reverence. The sounds and motions of the activities in the temple are hushed as you contemplate your surroundings. The sky above is full of stars. The contours of the Nile are becoming barely visible as the sky in the east is losing its blackness. And you see no end to the lush vegetation surrounding the temple. The small group of people with you on the high roof is arranging themselves into a semicircle, demicircle, and you find your place among them. The limestone on which you sit feels soft and warm. And as your group settles into silence, everyone is turning their gaze towards a location in the eastern sky. And for a moment or two, just bask in this atmosphere and observe the sky. Note anything that calls your attention. one of the stars twinkling in the direct line of your sight suddenly seems to grow large, and you realize it is approaching. It is flying towards you and your group on the roof. Everyone stands up. This is the moment you were waiting for. As it approaches, the star reveals itself to be a large sphere that is now hovering above the roof in the center of your semicircle. Its luminosity is strong, and yet you begin to see in it a pair of large almond-shaped eyes. The eyes look at you with such love that you cannot do otherwise than surrender to this gaze. What do they see in you to shower you with such sweetness and loving embrace? Observe. These eyes are a mirror, showing you your true sacred self. Ask to be shown and accept the answer without judgment. Intuition is speaking through your imagination, and you will sort the happenings, the messages later. For now, receive and trust. The being who looks at you with such love is the goddess Hathor herself. And you realize that her ritual is not about worshipping some distant deity. This observance is about mutual recognition of the sacredness of all life. You are seen, revered, and loved as much as the goddess herself. imaginatively or physically if you wish. Lift your hands into the position of blessing and feel the seed, Hathor, doing the same, connecting mutually your energies. Her eyes look into yours as if calling into your memory a recognition of an old, old friend. Your arm still in the position of the blessing. If you feel like it, you can now subjectively pronounce an affirmation or a mantra that feels appropriate for this moment for you. All the while gazing into her eyes, your energy is connected to the gesture of blessing. Voice your information, affirmation. With your hands still in the position of blessing, turn around and facing the world, feel the energies pouring from Hathor through you and into the planet, distributing the love to and through all of its inhabitants. As the sky turns into lighter and lighter shades of blue, this part of ceremony reaches its end. And you and your group descend the high roof, and soon you join the rest of the procession that is now approaching a door at the opposite end from where you entered the roof. The priestesses, priests, apprentices, and everyone else who took part in the ritual are all glowing. You as well, filled with the energy of love. We are ready to distribute it further through all the sacred relations we have in our daily lives. And before we continue our celebration, or rather before we get into the second part of it, We will find a comfortable place on the roof. Sit there and allow our impressions to settle. After a minute or so of silence, I will put a piece of music on and will invite you to write, if you wish, anything that happened or anything that you deem important. So let us ground somewhat ourselves, paying attention to our breathing. And I will put now the music on for allowing us some time to write down what we wish to write. Let's continue our journey. Let's go into its second part. And we'll begin, as usual, by closing our physical eyes and opening up our internal senses. Remember the shining spark in your heart. And we find ourselves where we left off, on the roof of the temple. The last people are slowly disappearing in the opening that leads the way back into the main building. And we follow. This time the stairs are straight and leading directly downwards through a steep and long corridor. Your step is careful and deliberate, and you wonder what is next as your senses capture the celebration that is in full swing on the ground. The soft morning prayer changed into joyful chanting. Musical instruments you hear. The clamor is coming from the outside is rising. Mixed with perfumes of flowers, the aromas of delicious foods are reaching the corridor. And as you finally reach the ground floor, you're just in time to see the statue of the goddess Hathor being carried outside. Although her back is turned towards you, you are sure to have caught a glimpse of her beautiful almond eyes winking at you. You step forward to follow the procession, but a cat standing just next to you attracts your attention. She gently rubs against your legs and then sets off in the direction of the Holy of Holies. Sensing your hesitation, the cat turns towards you and you understand one does not decline an invitation coming from the temple cat. And you follow. You pass the door and find yourself in a courtyard. You stand at its entrance and you feel you're being brought into a holy space. This open sky hall is actually the heart of the temple, occupied by a beautiful garden. Trees, shrubs, flowers, stones, birds, butterflies, running water. Following the cat, you walk through, and soon there is no sense of confinement. The space feels limitless, and yet supporting and nourishing. Eventually, you arrive at a clearing and you feel you have reached your destination. At the center of this beautiful garden stands a feminine figure whose shining presence you recognize to be the goddess Hathor herself, this time fully embodied. She greets you with open arms and a large smile. She brings you into her embrace. And after a brief yet heartfelt moment, she steps gently away, allowing you to see different beings gathering around her. There are animals, all kinds, small and big. There are maybe even angels. In her role of the mistress of nature, the goddess is gifting you with a guide. Observe. One or more of these beings, animals, angels, will approach you. Note, who is it? Listen to their messages. They might even take you for a journey, allowing you to receive insights that you need now. Whatever happens or not, know that you can always come back to this place, the garden of your heart, or any place in the temple. If a guide approaches you, know that they will stay with you as long as it is necessary, according to your higher good. The ritual is coming to its close, and the temple cat is now leading you towards the exit. But before you go, stop for a moment and extend rays of gratitude towards the loving goddess, towards the beautiful nature and all the spirits that came to greet you. Your guide is invisible to anyone else as you together walk outside the Holy of Holies and join the celebration. The temple floor is covered with flower petals. People are gathered in small groups around the pylons. Music is heard, and your step is dancing as you reach the outside ground. You may join in the choir, singing praise to life. The priestess is dancing to the rhythm of the heart, the exchange of loving appreciation between people, maybe even the birth chamber, where new babies are greeted with happiness. Observe the happenings and join in anything that you fancy. The celebration is yours.
Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah. Jambigari Jaya Shama Kari Om Shri Matre Jaya Jagatambe Jai Jai Jagatambe Ye Ma Durga Ye Ma Durga Jai Jagatambe Jai Jai Jagatambe Ye Ma Durga Ye Ma Durga Jai Jagatambe Jai Jai Jagatambe Ye Ma Durga Ye Ma
So if you didn't yet do so, send the rays of gratitude towards Egypt, toward Goddess Hathor, towards yourself, and slowly think again about your breathing, about this beautiful spark in your heart that inhabits you and you inhabit it. So if you wish, you can maybe write something, impressions. Thank you so very much. I saw everybody there and it was superb. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If anybody wants to share something, I would be grateful for any feedback or the impressions you might have collected throughout the journey.
Such a beautiful visualization and a fantastic journey you led us into. I'm so grateful, really. Indeed.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Daniela, now I know why you are exuding joy every time I see and hear you pouring through you. Walking past the 12, 2 or 3 images appeared, and there was a lot of tension in my ajna. And it seemed that there was a direct path to Sirius. I was given a feather, air, hawk, 2 into 1, unified, continuous joyful blessing of love.
Such beauty. Thank you, Margot.
Mutual recognition in awakened heart. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
I loved that part where we became the agents of healing energy, receiving and then having it move through our hands and heart out into the world. That was a beautiful, powerful gift. Yeah, to ourselves and to the universe. So thank you.
Yeah, it was magic for me.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely magic. You allowed me to be transported in a world that I probably lived in and that I probably participated in. And all this this love and this mystical, I don't know, this mystical ambiance. It was just so beautiful. The cats and the animals and then thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I will never stop smiling after your feedback like that. Thank you.
I also feel I love the birthing room, giving birth. I also had the feeling that actually the whole experience was kind of a birthing experience of ourselves more cautious, that we are worthy, and that we can, we can always give love. Doesn't matter where we are. So thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you for being here.
Daniela, where is this image from Hathor?
I don't know. I tried to find the author, never succeeded. I don't know where it comes from.
Huh.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful. I took a picture of it. Beautiful.
I can send it to you if you wish.
That's I photographed it. Yeah. Thank you.
And the first music you played, this was magic. What music is this?
This is this one? That one. It's called Dreamland.
I think, Uta, you joined a little bit later, so it's probably another music, right, Uta?
I joined a little later, yeah, wasn't this?
No.
The first one on the journey.
Yeah, as we start visualization, Daniela.
But there was no music when we started. So I'm guessing that
Maybe you heard music within you.
Perhaps it was music when we were writing.
Oh yeah, maybe when we were writing.
Oh, when we were writing, that was this, I think. That one. Maybe.
What is this?
It's Nyan Du. I can send you. It's Spotify. I can send you the link if you wish.
Please.
And maybe you can put it in the chat here,
right.
Daniela, now that you can share with everyone. Yeah.
I'll share. madam.
My impression was when I think when we were supposed to write our impressions, I just was keep journeying and looked around, and the sunbeam was above my plant at that point, like above geranium. And as I looked, the sun was coming through the leaves of geranium, and it was radiant. It was just beaming with light. And for me, that was recognition that that's actually the energy of Hathor. That's how plants perceive sunlight. It's just
True.
limitless love that pours. It's nurturing source of love. And it was like, wow, it is
Okay.
life. It is like she's here. She's like with it. That's how plants love sun, and sun loves them back.
Mhm. Beautiful. Thank you.
Sorry, I have to go. I just wanted to say thank you very much, everybody who contributed with energy, and of course, foremost to Daniela.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, this is Barclay from Mexico. Just wanted to say thank you. Thank you very much. This is very good. And it's always very interesting to bring the past, the wisdom of the past to the present and focusing on the future and making it one, synthesizing it. And so this is a good opportunity, and I thank you very much. Well, blessings to all.
Thank you. Blessings to you.
This is Belinda, and I'm from New Zealand. And I'd like to say thank you so very much. To start with, I'd like to say how wonderful it is to see the faces of the names I see on some of the forums I attend. And it's really wonderful to link with you in this very special way. What I found particularly interesting, how I was immediately drawn into the antiquity of the experience and the sense of timelessness that there is between that which is ancient and that which is immediately present, and that time has really never ever left us. Now, and I'd also like to comment, having been to Egypt but not seen through all the temples extensively, I'd just like to comment on the picture, because the picture looks very much like the avatars that appeared in the film Avatar, and they've obviously looked at all this and decided that's how it should be. So I just wanted to make that comment, because there's a sense in that of her being the priestess, the goddess, but at the same time the animal, and being totally immersed in nature and embodying that. Yes. And I'd like to say I just found this experience today with you all extraordinary, and I'm very grateful for it. Thank you, all of you.
Actually, we celebrated equinox.
Yes, yes, I know. Yes, the group that I work in, we experienced, invitation for that yesterday. But what is also special too is that you're doing this between the equinox and the new moon, and it's a particularly powerful period for us all to be working together. Okay. And a very special one, because that really happens.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
During the whole meditation, the whole visualization, I was always immersed in a world of beauty, a sacred beauty, and a world of devotion too, and a world where each thing and each animal and each human is sacred.
Mm. You connected well with Hathor, or rather Hathor connected with you, because that's about it is her. Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
For me, it was also an invitation to introduce more secret in my life. This inner feeling of all what is around me is a secret. Animals, plants, this feeling of all what around me is secret, and yes, it was a very nourishment. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. What a celebration. Well, our plans are to make more of those celebrations. So you'll be invited. I hope you'll come.
The original plan, Daniela suggested, is very ambitious to meet every month. So I suggested, let's have the first one and see how the flow goes and what will feel right after the first meeting. So, yeah, let's listen together. What is the right rhythm for this gatherings and celebrations? Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you. As I said, I will never stop smiling now. That's it. You will never see me differently.
Yes, never stop smiling. Yeah.
Thank you so very much, dear friend. Mwah.
Thank you. Yes, let's keep radiating, bringing this light.
Yeah, let's, yeah, glowing.
Glowing.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, and goodbye, and happy equinox, and happy passage to Libra, and all the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.